You got mail.
Do you remember the 90s?
Come on, Uncle Phil, this is the 90s, man.
Man, it's the 90s. It's hammer time. Come on.
It's the 90s, remember? Microchips, microwaves, faxes, airphones.
Ma, it's the 90s. You can call it what it is.
Yada, yada, yada.
I can be anything I want to be. It's the 90s.
What, are you nuts? This is the 90s. We're gonna sue you.
Wake up and smell the 90s.
Presenting the Kitchen Champ by K-Tech. 12 knockout appliances, each one among the best in its category. You're going to see how this compact powerhouse blows away typical auto bread makers, outperforms popular food processors, blasts away top-of-the-line blenders, outmaneuvers single and multi-purpose kitchen mixers. Yet it's gentle and precise enough to whisk 2 egg whites into volumes of meringue. Get ready to welcome the best addition you'll ever make to your kitchen.
What's your guess?
Volumes. I'm going to say, is this about infomercials?
It is about infomercials.
Yes.
Yes. Is this a topic that you're excited to talk about?
Very much so. I was hinting at it if you are along the journey on our podcast, which is Dave
and Cheryl
in the 90s. Wow, we are on. We can't clap to sync our podcast worth a damn, but we are on now.
That's right.
If you're following along the journey, I believe I'm trying to remember what was the one I mentioned, Billy Mays, and I was I was like, oh, can't wait. I'm hoping. I sense that this was coming.
Okay, well we can start. We can start with everything you know about Billy Mays.
Everything I know about Billy Mays. Billy Mays, what I know is only his end.
Oh, okay.
And that
you don't know which products he...
he was the OxyClean guy, was he not?
I think so.
Yeah, I think he was the OxyClean dude. And he was him and ShamWow were the biggest guys at the time that didn't have British accents.
Who had British accents?
Well, man, was that a later thing? Was that a 2000s thing? Because it became a thing with infomercials where you would buy anything as long as the guy had a British accent. It took everything for me to not try to do a British accent right there, too.
Thank you for your...
Dick Van Dyke it. But no, I
Thank you for your restraint.
I'm very excited to go along this journey. As you know, you played that clip for me at the top. It's got me... raring to go. The appliances were fighting the other appliances. They were literally Terminator style annihilating the other ones. And as we said, as it makes volumes of meringues, you'll have volumes of knowledge in that dossier for us right now to teach the Utes about the infomercials of the 90s.
Now, we're not going to get too technical into like the businesses and which company did this and who established each company.
And who ripped off who and what pyramid schemes.
We're not really doing like the history of infomercials so much because it's kind of boring. I mean, I'll give you like a general outline. I guess the first filmed TV half-hour infomercial for a commercial product was a Vitamix blender, which is something that's familiar. But
what era was that?
1949.
49?
Yeah. And then, of course, the FCC put limits on advertising. And then in the 80s...
Cable.
Well, also regulations
Deregulation.
Regulations went to hell. Yeah. So starting in the mid to late 80s, and the pinnacle was the 90s. For these programs. So we should give just sort of an overview of like what they were. They were like 30 to 60 minute commercials that were usually played on network television overnight, like past the late night shows before the early morning news. So from what, like 1:30 to 4 a.m.?
Yeah, they were known as edutainment.
Edutainment, yes. And they were a couple different formats. One of the main formats was talk show, where there would be like a host and they would welcome a guest and they would talk about this product like it was some, novel, amazing thing. And then it would be broken up by little segments of call now, 1-800-266, whatever, get your free thing. Or, or buy 2, get the 3rd free.
The live studio audience was a big element of this as well.
It sometimes, yeah. When it was more of like a talk show like demonstration show.
Yeah, and that was one of them. They ended up they tried to make it look like it was like a Donahue show or an Oprah type show with a huge live studio audience to have a lot of piped in oohs and ahs. Can you believe it, folks? And they'd start applauding.
Totally.
You know.
But because they were so similar to formats of real entertainment, they had to be pretty careful about saying this is a paid program.
The following program is a paid presentation for The Kitchen Champ by K-Tech.
Obviously, this was before the internet, so this was a way of shopping from home without getting off your couch.
Well, that used to be the model on the old K-Tel model, where you'd get like the K-Tel greatest hits albums, and then at the end it would say send your check or money order to P.O. Box.
Yeah, or COD.
Oh God, COD.
Can you tell our young listeners what COD stands for?
Cash on demand.
On delivery.
A delivery.
Cash on delivery. So they would just trust you. You would say, yeah, I want this thing. It would be delivered to your house. And I don't know, the postman would get it.
But Cheryl, I said it so confidently.
You did. You did.
That was not believable. Yes, cash on delivery, of course.
And they just would, they would just bring it to your house and you'd pay them when it arrived. That seems so foreign and adorable.
You would pay the mailman?
I don't know. I've never done cash on delivery. This is what I assume.
I've always wondered that. Just your normal mail guy, speedy delivery guy, Mr. Rogers, would just take a check or
and
cash money.
Yeah.
I don't know. Where would he send it to? How would he know how to send it?
If any older viewers or listeners knows the answer to this, please let us know. Cash on delivery is not something that makes any sense to me, but it was on all of those ads. So they were a couple different categories generally. What was your favorite category of infomercial?
I'm going to say household appliance.
There's
or kitchen appliance.
There was a lot of food related stuff.
There was a lot of food related stuff. There was household and there was kitchen, because there was kitchen gadgets, and then there was the stuff that would help you clean your house.
Right. And that's where you get your ShamWow, your OxyClean.
Lots of mops,
vacuums.
Yeah. Some of these actually were once relegated as kind of jokes, but ended up becoming mainstream products.
Oh, well,
like OxyClean is something you just the
Vitamix, the OG Vitamix is a great blender.
I mean, the thing's like a Sherman tank, to be perfectly honest. It's like the Rolls Royce of
but also the Magic Bullet. Like we've had 3 or 4 generations of it, but I think we first bought it on TV. I have a clip.
The Magic Bullet.
The personal, versatile countertop magician.
Countertop magician? That's right, because it works like magic.
Do you remember the Slap Chop?
Oh, Slap Chop. We never had a Slap Chop, but I wanted a Slap Chop.
Can you describe how a Slap Chop works?
Yeah. It's all it is it's like a spring-loaded blades that went straight down. Sometimes they were straight, sometimes they were kind of in a little zigzag, kind of like the top of a ding dong or something, or like a chocolate cupcake. And it had this
dome.
It wasn't a dome. It was a clear like cylinder that then you would put on top of. You would sit on top of the food that you wanted to chop, and then you would just sit there and just pop, 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 and just slam it down.
And it would go down, and then it would go up and twist, and then when it went
come back down again,
it would come back again to do a different cut.
It looked fun.
Is there a famous boxer that we might know that did a very famous infomercial?
We're going to date this as well. R.I.P. George Foreman.
That's right.
Knock out the fat with the George Foreman Lean Mean Fat Reducing Grilling Machine. Has my name on it, it's a winner.
So that's a George Foreman grill.
You're really smiling about that. He is charismatic.
He's very charming.
He's just a big cuddly, for a guy whose job was
to punch people out.
The most like professional ever heavyweight champion of just murdering people in the ring almost.
Yeah.
He had a whole second life as one of like America's most cuddliest, gigantic meat machine.
Well, and that
sellers.
thing was popular. So it was a tiny, it looked like almost like a toaster on its side that had like a lid, and it had a grill, but it also had a top grill. So it would cook from would cook from both sides, the top and the bottom.
No, it was nothing new. It was a panini press. That's all it was. It was a panini press, but it was tilted down on a slope so that the grease would slide off. And the only thing that was insidious about this was that it came with this little plastic like oval tray that would sit under it that would collect the juices. Yeah. But they always cheaped out on it, and the stuff was boiling hot, scalding hot, and it would melt
the plastic.
The one modern reference to this that people might know is from 30 Rock. They had the parody of the Tracy Jordan meat machine, and it would spray the minute they put it in there. It would spray like a grapefruit, a jet of hot scalding grease into the eyes of whoever used it.
By burning 3 different types of meat together, the Tracy Jordan meat machine takes bread out of the equation. Now your sandwich is all of the good stuff. Say it with me now. Meat is the new bread.
So we did do some shopping on the TV. So we had a handful of these as a family. The stuff was good. So this is one of my favorites, and we did have this.
The patented design seals in food, makes delicious breakfast sandwiches in only 2 minutes. Cinnamon rolls are a snap. These would normally take 20 minutes, but not in Snackmaster. Delicious hot food is only minutes away. Order yours now.
It's the Snackmaster.
Oh my God, the Snackmaster.
So it was a sandwich maker, and it was basically 2 wells that were bread sized.
They were triangular shaped.
But then they were split. They were split in half triangularly.
Yeah.
So with you would put a piece of bread, then you'd put toppings on top, then you put another piece of bread, and then you would close it similar to the George Foreman grill, but it would seal the bread together, and then you would have and then when it came out piping hot, ready to ruin your taste buds, it would be little triangles of delicious warm sandwich. So you'd put like cheese and meat, or one of the demonstrations that they do is like an apple pie. Like
I was gonna say you can do sweet as well, baby. Yeah. They even had one where they put pie crust on it.
Pie crust would probably work, yeah. But just the simple version is white bread, apple pie filling.
God bless America.
It's true. But we definitely did have that. I don't remember specifically what we did with it. I feel like we probably did pizza stuff or like certainly cheesy things, maybe with sandwich meat. But
so this will be recurring through this whole thing. Unlike to slap chop, I longed for this. I always thought this was the best. I also stayed up way too late and watched all of these.
So the other thing, and I don't have a clip for this one. I mean, you can find one. They're there. Jetstream oven.
The key to this oven's incredible cooking power is known as cyclonic cooking. High-speed hot air circulates all around the food in a specially patented mini cyclone. This cooking action sears the outside of the food shut and keeps the inside moist and tender.
We had it for many, 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 many years. It's basically like a circular little oven thing that cooked things as fast as a microwave, but with the texture of an oven. But the only thing I remember cooking in it is bagel bites. But that thing was amazing, except that you couldn't cook like a regular circular pizza in it because the center would remain raw. It works.
Okay, that's what I was about to say, because most of these, that was the problem, is that some did, did they work, did they not? Were they junk?
I feel like a lot of these worked.
Yeah.
And that's why they were so popular. I mean, we're not talking about the unpopular ones because I can't dig that deep.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about the A+ quality, lived in my house for 15 years, infomercial products, and the Jetstream oven was one of them.
Who was the purchaser of these? Your mother? Like she would see it during daytime, and
I don't know. I mean, my mother was like, my dad wasn't a shopper, so I'm sure it was my mother, but he probably did he probably called because my mother doesn't make phone calls.
My parents would never buy anything off of a commercial, yet they were avid QVC people.
I mean, that Jetstream oven lived on our counter.
Okay.
Because it was used that much. The sandwich maker had a home in a cupboard.
Yeah.
And I believe the dehydrator probably lived in the basement most of the time.
Yeah, ours is in the garage.
Ours is in the garage. We have one. We did not buy it from TV, but I mean, I feel like a lot of these, these things that we bought on TV in the 90s, the successful ones, we just buy at Costco now.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. They're mainstream now.
100%. Including this one, which I think you will enjoy.
The legendary Ginsu knife. It was the sharpest offer on television. But now, there's the next generation. Ginsu World Class. It's quite simply the finest knife in the world.
You mean finer than our famous English knives? Finer than our German knives?
Yes, even finer than our own classic Ginsu.
The best part of that is that I was waiting for the Mickey Rooney level.
Terrible acting?
Well, no, but like terrible Japanese stereotypes with this knife or whatever, like some samurai or Ginsu chef. But then they flip the switch and they go for other nationalities to mock.
Totally. They mocked a few there. So in addition to food products, can you think of an adjacent category that was also pretty prevalent in infomercials?
Food related.
Food related, or lack of food related, if you will.
Who was that lady who was shouting at us?
That was Susan Powter, incredibly famous person that I don't think anybody knows anymore. She was every place and very pop culture referenced. And so
she's entertaining.
Yeah. So for you youngins, stop the insanity means this.
Stop the insanity! Diets don't work. Now, I lost 133 pounds, but I didn't go from a fat person to a thin person. That's not what happened. I went from an unfit person to a fit person, and there's not anybody in this room who can't do that. Who am I to tell you any of this?
She was this woman who lost 100 and something pounds, and she was miserable and terrible, and then she shaved her head and became a mogul.
Talk about daytime talk show staple.
And
she was on tons of daytime talk shows.
I feel like maybe she even had one herself. We should check that.
She might have. And I think everyone who remembers this thinks her name is Powers.
Yeah, no, it's Susan Powter. And she literally has like white blonde, crazy short hair.
She's basically, if you imagine Grace Jones, but white.
Yes, 100% that vibe. And of course...
Oh, hi. It's me, Richard Simmons. I'm traveling across the United States, meeting people who have lost weight and changed their lives with my Deal a Meal Life Plan. I'm so excited. Now fasten that seatbelt and let's start traveling down that Deal a Meal road. Yahoo!
So that was...
That was Richard Simmons.
Yep. And his big, at least initial claim to fame in infomercials was the Deal a Meal program. Do you have any idea how Deal a Meal works?
I don't know how Deal a Meal works, but it was, again, another thing that I remember. I had the cards. I don't know why. They were in my house. My mother must have bought them, or she got 10 to 1. My mother doesn't buy anything. She got them at a garage sale. And they were sitting around, and they're like these, I used to play with them because they're like oversized novelty cards. Mm-hmm. What you'd imagine like the size of tarot cards. Yeah. And yeah,
it came with like a pouch or something, right? And
it came with a wallet.
Yeah.
Actually.
Every morning you would have like a full deck.
You'd have a full deck, and you would, every time that you would, it's essentially just a way for you to count calories. It actually isn't a bad system. It visualizes that you have a certain amount of cards on one side that represent the calories or the parts of the food pyramid that day, and that's your day, and you move them over when you have them, and then you can it forces you to think and count.
Right. I mean, I think it's kind of similar to the idea of like points on Weight Watchers, but you kind of don't have to.
But it doesn't have Richard Simmons telling you to do it.
You don't have Richard Simmons, yeah. Richard Simmons also did exercise videos, which were incredibly popular.
Sweating to the oldies,
yeah.
Hey there, it's me, Richard Simmons. Listen, are you sick and tired of boring lookalike exercise videos with synthesized elevator music and a lineup of leotard-clad Stepford wives? Well, if you are, honey, have I got the cure for you.
And just as a fun fact, which Fellini film did was he in?
Satyricon.
That's right.
He's in one of the orgy scenes in the background.
Yeah. So a lot of infomercial stuff was self-improvement, which I think people who are up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning sitting watching TV maybe they're not living their best life.
It's a lot of regret.
There's a lot of regret.
There's a lot of regret and a lot of lack of impulse control at 3 a.m. in the morning.
But also like really good intentions. Like if I just buy this Bowflex and put it in my basement, I'll be ripped.
Bowflex?
Bowflex, yes. I have a commercial, but...
Bowflex, Jake, Body by Jake as well was another one. Did you have Body by Jake?
I did not have Body by Jake, but thank you for including that. There's two main ones that are highly satirized. The Shake Weight.
Shake Weight.
And the Thigh Master.
Insert clip.
Great legs.
Thank you.
How do you get them?
Some people were born with great legs, but the rest of us have to work at it. I used to do aerobics till I dropped. Then I found Thigh Master. Every single time you squeeze Thigh Master, you strengthen and tone right where you need it. So it's easy to squeeze your way to shapely hips and thighs.
Who was that lovely voice?
That was Suzanne Summers of Three's Company fame.
Yeah. What was the ABC, the
Step by
TGIF Step by Step? This was the Step by Step time.
Yes. Yeah. So she was an aging actress of her 40s or something. Thigh Master leads us into celebrity endorsed products. You know that Cher did a hair care thing, right?
But even Hair Doctor doesn't do her justice. I think she's more of a miracle worker. The miracle worker is Lori Davis, and her regular clients include Hollywood's biggest names: Julia Roberts, Michelle Pfeiffer, Winona Ryder, Barbara Hershey, and on and on and on. And when it comes to men, her clients include everyone from Ted Danson to Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, she was wearing a wig at the time.
And this
Pause
was
for laughter.
She was selling wigs. Is basically
no.
a wig system.
No, she was selling hair care. That's the irony. That's what was ridiculous. Then there was some like more low key things. There's the Topsy Tail.
Topsy Tail,
where basically you turned a ponytail inside out.
I remember Topsy Tail.
Yeah, it was cute. I never had it, but I tried to reproduce the concept, and probably the Topsy Tail would have worked better. There's also the Bedazzler.
Oh, they'd show him doing the jackets on that commercial. Yeah. I remember that was.
It was like a little punch machine.
Yeah.
And it came with gems, so you could bedazzle anything. It's primarily denim. Can you explain the Flowbee hair cutter?
Every day, people are discovering just how fun and easy it is to get a precision layered haircut right in the convenience of their own home. With the incredible Flowbee Precision Haircutting System. If a family of 4 spends $8 each every 4 to 5 weeks on haircuts, that's $32, which means your Flowbee could pay for itself in just 2 to 3 months. Start getting great-looking haircuts now. Get your Flowbee today.
I love my Flowbee.
Oh, man, the Flowbee. All right, so the Flowbee is for lonely divorcees who don't have enough money for even supercuts, but they have a vacuum cleaner. They have some dignity that they can vacuum their house. So what they can do is an attachment to put onto your vacuum cleaner that essentially has this guard that is adjustable, that's telescoping, that you can put onto your skull and move around your head, and it will suck up your hair into these rotating blades or scissors and give you a haircut. Mm-hmm. But it'll all be
no mess.
No mess.
So this, I think, is the ultimate infomercial product because it's amazing.
GLH means great-looking hair. Just spray GLH on and it instantly covers your bald spot, leaving you with great-looking hair. GLH is not a paint or a cover-up. It's an amazing powder that clings to the tiniest hairs on your head. It actually builds on itself, leaving you with great-looking hair.
I've been getting harassing for being bald. I'm only a young man. No more dates without being called old man, but the babes are back.
So $39.99 per month is not expensive in the 90s.
Wait, I thought this was just a can that you would buy.
It was a system.
It was a system.
I believe so, yeah. But also $40 in the 90s.
Did they at least give you installments to pay on it?
Maybe. Well, no, because you needed a new set every month. Now this is
insert inflation calculation.
Seriously. Well, but think about what minimum wage was back then. It was like $6.
Let's tell the kids, what exactly is it that what is the product?
It is spray paint for your scalp.
Yeah,
it came in multiple colors. You could get it in like various shades of brown and blonde and white, I think, and black and reddish. Maybe.
It was not discriminatory. It'll take everyone's money.
It will take everybody's money. And yeah, I guess it was like a spray paint powder thing that you would spray on your hair. And it was, I mean, if you continue to watch, you'd find out that it did not run in the rain. If you got stuck in the rain, you were good. Only shampoo would take it out. Although I'm sure a million pillowcases got destroyed with this stuff.
Do you know the modern fail on this product?
What's that?
Giuliani.
Oh,
when
yes.
Giuliani was melting, when he was sweating at that press conference.
That's right.
That was the same
Concept,
shit. It was
least,
the same stuff. Yeah. He goes to a salon and they just dye the top of your head, like skull and all. There's no way this stuff worked.
It's weird.
Can you imagine the dandruff? You just have like
flaking black dandruff.
I mean, if there's anything that sounds like you're near death, it's like if you have dandruff, that sucks. If you have black dandruff, you're 1 foot in the grave.
Yeah, your skin's falling off.
Plague.
Yeah. The other thing that became popular during this time was 1-900 numbers.
Yes.
Can you describe what a 1-900 number
is? You would call and you would be charged an initial fee and then an additional fee for every minute that you were on the line. And they were for all types of different services. Mm-hmm. Mostly.
Well, two categories. One was like a chat line for dating.
It's true. Yes.
And then the other one was for psychics.
I believe it'd be for sexy singles.
Sexy singles and psychics.
Mm-hmm, and psychics.
Since the dawn of time, the high and the mighty have turned to psychics for the secret of love and money. Now the wisdom of the ages is as near as your phone, thanks to the Psychic Friends Network.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rod Roddy with the Psychic Friends Network. No matter when you call, a psychic will always be there waiting to hear from you.
Now, what you can't see, because obviously this is a podcast and not a television program, $3.99 a minute. $3.99 a minute. So
Rod Roddy, no.
But also, like, you could get a month's worth of hair for 10 minutes of psychic reading.
Was this at the same time I was waiting for? First of all, this is all happening in the Mall of America, which sounds like the most 90s thing ever.
It's crazy. Yeah.
But what about the most popular of the psychics, Miss Cleo?
Miss Cleo.
Call me now.
Call me now. Yes, we're not going to be doing any sort of imitations of her.
The cards can reveal things that you will never see by yourself. Call me now for your free tarot reading.
Psychic Friends and Miss Cleo were like the big ones.
Yeah.
And the other one was is like chat lines. There'd be like celebrity chat lines. Here's something that's just like very cute.
Hi, you've reached the Corey hotline. $4.95 a minute. Here are some words that rhyme with Corey. Glory, story, allegory, Montessori.
So, of course, The Simpsons did a little spoof on that.
It's the ultimate judge of pop culture footnote if it was parodied by The Simpsons.
Absolutely, yeah. And there are more. There's tons of Simpsons parodies of infomercials. So why do you think that we don't have them anymore?
I would say maybe because, well, there was too much of them.
Well, I think it's honestly our shortened attention span. We're not sitting there for 30 to 60 minutes watching somebody like make a turkey in a Jetstream oven. And social media has like replaced how we shop. We shop, like, I've never shopped on a TikTok shop, but I hear they're a thing. And I've certainly bought products that I've seen on Instagram, so I'm not above it.
I don't even know how QVC and
they do exist.
Home Shopping Channel,
Home Shopping Network, QVC, they still exist. I don't know anything about any of them beyond Lisa Rinna has sweaters from, like, sells them on QVC. And the Quacker Factory, obviously.
Is that still around?
Well, no, poor lady died.
I know. I didn't know if maybe her
maybe
brand lives on.
You know what? We should look that
her.
up and give it a footnote. So did your family really not buy any of these products? Because
No. If any of them, like I said, if any of them came into our house, they were secondhand at best. If you want to go down memory lane and find any of these items, sometimes even in pristine condition, in boxes, if you don't have to look too hard, most of these or versions of these products will be readily available at the thrift store of your choice.
That's true. And the good ones are at Costco.
It's
fresh
true.
and new. So this is infomercials in the 90s.
This was fun. This is jogging the memories.
Yeah, of late nights.
Because that's what it was meant to be. It was meant to just be like an earworm or just dig into your eyes.
This was not informative. This was not meant to be informative. This was meant to just talk about dumb products that my family bought in the 90s. Anyway, this has been
Dave
and Cheryl
and the 90s. In 3 easy installments of $19.95.
$39.99.
$39.99. In 3 easy installments of $39.99. Oh.
It doesn't matter.
It really doesn't. We try, people. We try so hard for you.
Yeah.
Till next time.
Next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, I gotta go. I have a lot of traveling ahead, and who knows, maybe one day I'll stop by and see just how you're doing. Take care of yourself. You're worth it.
Got a favorite 90s moment or topic you want us to dive into? We'd love to hear about it. If you think we got everything wrong, we'd love to hear about that too. Drop us an email at andthe90spod@gmail.com, link in the episode description, and you can be damn sure that we'll read your comments on the show. Also, if you're digging the show, please rate, comment, subscribe, and tell everyone you know to check us out. It really does make a difference. Till next time, remember, we're nostalgia for the olds and education for the youths.